Welcome to this guitar lesson on the Skyhooks song Motorcycle Bitch. It is the last song on their classic Living in the 70s album. The intro and the verse rhythm guitar part goes like this. To play that, I'm using a bar chord shape, and this bar chord is using the A chord shape and moving it up the fretboard. So we would classify it as a 5th string major bar chord shape. To form the first chord you hear in the song, which is a G major, I'm going to 10th fret of the 5th string, making a power chord shape, which is done by placing your 3rd finger 2 frets higher on the next string down. So in this case, our fret numbers I'm talking about right now are 10th fret of your 5th string and 12th fret of the next string down, 4th string. Then I flatten out my finger that's at 12th fret to cover string numbers 4, 3 and 2. And that is being struck once. I then move this chord shape back so my first finger is at 7th fret. This would create an E major bar chord. So we're going G and then sliding that shape back to E, 7th fret. And then a series of, at 5th fret, D, E, D, E, D, E, G, E, D, E, D, E, and I'll call out the fret number that my first finger's needing to go to for each of those chords. 10, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. In the other channel, the lead guitar is doing lots of little solo type fills with the wah pedal being used heavily to rock back and forth. You can use your 12th fret minor pentatonic scale. And that is used for the intro and the verse of this song. The chorus sees the band playing a unison guitar riff, everyone in the band doing this together, and it's played like this. So notes that I'm hitting there, let's break it up into small sections. The first section, all on top string, fret numbers 5, 3 and open. So letter names of those notes would be A, G, E is the first section of that riff. 5, 3, O, all on your very top thick string. Next, the set of notes that I'm hitting here, fret numbers 7, 5, 7, and I might usually slide into that first 7. So to put section 1 and section 2 together, so that was 7 on the top string, 5 on the 5th string, which is 1 down from the top string, and then back to the first note you hit there, the 7. 7, 5 down a string, 7. 2 parts together. Letter names, A, G, E, B, D, E. Section 3, we're going to move up to 9th fret, 7 down a string and back to 9th fret. So it's actually the same pattern as what I just did. Section 2 was 7, 5, 7. This one's just going to move that up 2 frets to become 9, 7, 9. finishing it out, 2 notes on your 5th string, which is 1 down from the top, 10 and 7. So that's the ascending part of the riff. It's now going to use that collection of notes and essentially play it backwards. Part 2. For the descending part of this riff, our first section is going to be these notes, which are found at 10th fret and 7th fret of 5th string, and then finishing at 9th fret of top string. Section 2, 7 on 5th string, then 2 notes on your very top string, 9 and 5. So frets so far, 10 and 7, 5th string, finish at 9 on top. Second section, 7 on 5th string, 9 and 5 on 6th, very top. Starting part 3, 7 on very top string, 5 on the 5th string, back to your 7 on top. And to finish it out, 3rd fret, then open on the very top string, a G and then an E note. Descending, you could fancy it up a little bit, and I think I can hear someone in the mix of the recording doing this sometimes, where I'm sliding in that second part of the descending run, and it means I'm sliding from 9 to 7 before I hit that 5. So the solo section of Motorcycle Bitch has both guitarists just making sound effects, wah pedals going, sounding like motorbike sound effects. It does eventually break down into a chord section. So let me just detail what those chords are. We hear a G to an E chord as the first accents, where we get a G bar chord, or you could use a G open chord. It's a fairly messy playing in this part. G, where we get one of these fancy chords where we're just hitting all the strings open. And I'm going G, open strings, and then hitting an E chord. G, E, B, A, G, E. So B bar chord, moving to an A chord, a G and an E. So that was G, E, B, A, G, E, G, E, B, A, G, E. Your next part goes B, A, D, and then back to that B, A, G, E. So that will then go twice. The way that it finishes, B, A, G. So that tie back into the main riff, B, A, G, where that G is the first of the riff, the verse and intro